As far as India-U.S. relations is concerned, remember India is about to get a new ambassador from the United States, and he's just had his confirmation hearing where some of the things that he has said have sparked a great deal of debate, controversy and interest. He says we have to stop the Russian oil. He, of course, is only echoing what the stated formal position of the United States is. He says that India is a great partner, but India must stop buying Russian oil.
Ambassador to India, how do you view India's choice in light of U.S. tariffs and our strategic goals?
Thank you for the question, Senator. President Trump has been crystal clear on this. They must stop buying Russian oil. And I believe almost every single member of this committee has co-sponsored Senator Graham's legislation, which has proposed a 500% tariff on secondary purchase and reselling of Russian oil. The president has only imposed a 25% tariff. And he's fully encouraging also our European partners and others around the world to stop that. Our tariffs work if our partners around the world are on the same page. If we're unilaterally putting tariffs on someone, but they're able to buy the same oil and resell the same oil through China, through India, through Brazil, that's a problem. And so we fully intend on fixing that.
And here's the very ironic breaking news just days after the Modi-Trump rapprochement, the friendly words, the threats continuing to come from the United States on Russian oil. India has actually increased its imports of Russian oil amidst the U.S. standoff over Russian oil. India's August oil imports from Russia stand at 3.4 billion. That's up from 3.1 billion in July to $3.4 billion worth of Russian oil in August. The Indian oil imports almost equal China right now. Well, oil's well with India-Russia trade amidst the U.S. tirade. India has increased the amount of Russian oil despite the continuous attacks coming in from the United States. What is this going to lead to? Gaurie Dwivedi, Executive Editor, is with me live. Gaurie, what do these numbers look like now on India-Russia oil trade? What are you making of this? This is a big move by India.
Well, if one were to look at the oil imports for India for the month of August, the trend actually threw up some very interesting aspects between intersecting the geopolitical headwinds that are taking place around the world. Now, there are two parallel trends, and I want to put that out one by one. And this is actually as per data that has come out by the financial data firm LSEG. Now, it has said two very important things. One is that there has been an 11% dip in the imports that have come from OPEC countries, USA and Qatar. That's a very significant fact. There's been an 11% dip for the month of August. Parallelly, there has actually been an increase as far as Russian oil is concerned for the month of August. Now, overall, if you see the total amount of oil imports, there's been a minor blip. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we didn't import that much from OPEC, USA and Qatar. The minor blip was from 19,500 kilotons in July. It fell down to about 19,170 kilotons. There's been a bit of a blip there. But the larger point is there has been an increase in Russian crude imports, about 11% in the same period. Now, in terms of numbers, what does it mean? Well, for the month of July, 32.4% of our overall imports came from Russia, and that increased significantly for the month of August. And that's the single biggest thing one needs to keep in mind. Which is that even as there are these global headwinds that are coming to light, where there's Trump administration's repeated diktats saying that if India continues to import Russian oil, there will be larger ramifications, there will be the 50% tariff, so on and so forth. In the wake of that, India has shown that no amount of bullying, no amount of talking down to will make it change its energy security roadmap. And that energy security roadmap requires that if you are one of the world's largest importers, you buy the cheapest available option on the table so that you keep your fiscal math under check. It also sends out a very strong message to Donald Trump and his administration that India will decide on the basis of the merits. It will not decide on the basis of somebody talking down to it. So that's the backdrop and context that one needs to keep in mind in terms of how we've increased our Russian oil import for the month of August. It also comes, interestingly, at a time when you had those interesting photo ops from the SCO that were flashed for the world to see how India is recalibrating its options. This data may not coincide with the exact time when those photos were taken, but it sends out the same message, which is we decide on the basis of the energy security concerns and requirements of our country. Also, at the same time, the data shows that Turkey is the largest importer of Russian natural gas. Turkey is actually a NATO member. Turkey is very aligned to the US when it comes to its military goals. How come no amount of these lectures have been given to Turkey or China, but all of them have been reserved for India? Even if they have been, well, India has responded saying we will decide what we should do on the basis of what works for us.
Well, we'll have to see how the US responds to this. This is incredible. After 2 months of very aggressive political barbs from the United States, from Trump, from Navarro, from others, and even a man who's coming as the US's latest ambassador to India about Russian oil, India has actually increased its importing of Russian oil to a very high level, almost matching China. We'll see how the United States reacts. Gaurie, thanks very much for that comprehensive update on that.